The determinants of holistic health are key to unlocking the answers to why our bodies may react the way they do. Knowing that there's a panel of factors that contribute to illness and conditions besides the conventional medicinal elements can aid greatly in helping us to take ownership of our health. When we can treat not just the symptoms but the root cause of an issue, it can truly be healed. Wellness is a journey, not a quick stop or a fast fix. Understanding the history and philosophy of holism, vitalism, and reductionism are necessary backdrops of putting the principles of holistic health into practice to evaluate my own PHC and how holistic wellness can bring balance into my life. We can find the roots of holism in ancient cultures of Egypt, Greece, India, and China. DeStefano highlights that each group has its own herbal pharmacopoeia, its system of dietary regulation, and various restorative practices and rituals. The ancient Egyptian physicians had a fairly solid grasp of how the human body functions. They understood that what happens both internally and externally is not mutually independent of what goes on outside the body, and these factors can have an effect on each other. Over a couple of thousand years, the Egyptians and the Grecians fine-tuned and explored how our body works. They learned the different things that can have a healing effect on the body. The Greek method of healing became centered mostly around the Hippocratic method, which focused on things that we now may take for granted, such as common knowledge, such as eating healthy, proper amounts of sleep, interacting with nature, and clean air, and even detoxing. Jan Christian Smuts is the originator of the word holism, which encompasses the knowledge of how an entire system works versus merely understanding the parts of the whole or only specific incidents. Iqbal accurately describes the philosophy of holism as encompassing elements that comprise our environment, social connections, cultural influences, and economic status. Vitalism. Linder helps us to give an understanding about the history of vitalism by describing it as the energy derived from divine forces that drive us, that literally give our bodies electricity. It was previously believed that all the energy from which we have life was given to us by our deities. This viewpoint experiences a shift once we begin to have a better scientific knowledge of how the human body works, and instead, vitalism can be viewed as an avenue for how we experience our own spirituality. The basis for the philosophy of vitalism centers on that there is an innate knowledge and intelligence in our bodies. Wegmuller further elaborates on this point by describing it as respecting the non-material principle that animates and drives all life forces. Holism is not the absence of modern medical wisdom, but the addition and marrying of more than one method of treatment. Holism does not imply that it is a practice entirely separate from traditional medicine. It can be viewed as a complementary asset to aid conventional medicine in some cases. Rosenberg evaluates medical holism as an emphasis on inclusiveness and an integration on a pattern of interdependence and a symmetrical disdain for the sufficiency of elucidating and manipulation discrete mechanisms and managing the healthy or diseased body. Holism takes a look at the whole versus the individual pieces. Meanwhile, the reductionism is centered on examining the details of contained interactions in the body. It aims to cure symptoms rather than the cause. The determinants of holistic health are important to understand in order to be able to take a holistic evaluation of one's health. Holistic health is having wellness in all facets of life, culminating in a balance of the mind, body, and spirit. Elements that help determine the level of health are environment, connection with a higher power, education, gender, nutrition, income, genetics, culture, and personal behaviors. Each one of these pillars of wellness can negatively or positively impact one or more of the other areas. All determinants must be working in harmony in order to feel the wonderful effects of holistic wellness. My health was impacted by my PHC and vice versa. My PHC caused me to experience a detrimental lack of care in my nutrition, and my environment is a major factor in the aggravation of my PHC. Not all is negative, however. I do have a great social support system that encourages me and is helping to improve my PHC. Also, I'm fortunate to have access to free healthcare due to my job. As a result of the holistic interventions I have tried my PHC, I'm sleeping more restfully and I feel calmer on the inside and exude a calmer demeanor, and my mind feels much more centered. The history of my PHC in a condensed format is that I began to experience significantly worse stress and anxiety due to forced change in specialty within my job. I have struggled with stress and anxiety my whole life, but has gotten to an almost unmanageable point. I gained weight because of the poor dietary choices brought on by stress eating. My skin began to flake and tear from a physical manifestation I experienced. I lost touch with my higher power, and although I have a good support close system, an outside social life is impossible. My cortisol level rose as a result of all the stress, causing a retention in belly fat and propensity to sleep too much. My holistic analysis that I have become unrooted and out of touch with the earth. Oshman makes it clear that since humanity came into existence, that we rely on our connection with the earth, and that has been lost for me. The natural rhythm of earth can stabilize the mind, body, and spirit if contact is regained. I need to physically sleep on the ground and ingest more root vegetables to regain connection. The treatment I'm pursuing is centering around yoga and meditation. Meditation has been proven to significantly lower levels of cortisol. Lee and Goldsmith champion the use of yoga as a supplement to pharmaceutical therapy to improve stress and anxiety systems. The study of holistic health and medicine reveals that we can be our own worst enemy or our own best friend. We have the power of wellness at our fingertips. It takes a commitment to understanding how holism, reductionism, and vitalism have played their part in making use of how we practice holistic health today, and these tenets have guided me examining my PhD holistically and diagnosing myself, and in turn treating myself at no cost and great gain for my mind, body, and spirit.